You ever feel like something's off, but you can't put your finger on it? That was me, 2 months ago. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, half-dressed, sipping on day-old coffee that tastes like burnt cardboard, and Kate walks in like nothing's wrong. Hair still damp from the shower. Humming. Smiling. And I remember thinking, damn, she looks happy. Not regular happy. Not the, I just found a 20 in my coat pocket kind of happy. No, this was different. Like something inside her had been rewired overnight. That's when it started. That little flicker in the back of my mind. Let me back up a bit. Kate had this work retreat thing, some big corporate meeting out of town. Just one night, at a hotel an hour away. Nothing fancy. She even joked about how boring it'd be. Said she'd probably be asleep by 10. And I believed her. God, I wish I hadn't. So, she comes back the next morning. Says the meeting went fine, traffic sucked, and the hotel pillows were trash. Makes herself a smoothie, kisses me on the head, and heads to her laptop like it's just another Tuesday. But I swear, there was something different in the way she moved. Like she was floating. I noticed it again that night. She was scrolling through her phone, smiling to herself. Not laughing. Just smiling. Who you texting? I asked casual. Not suspicious yet. Oh, no one, she said, still smiling. Just something funny from the group chat. Right. I don't want to sound like one of those paranoid husbands, but you start to pick up on these tiny things. Her phone never used to be face down all the time. She didn't used to take it with her everywhere. And you know what the worst part was? I still wanted to believe nothing was wrong. I told myself I was overthinking. That I was tired. That maybe I was the problem. Until one night, I found the painting. She had it propped up in her little corner studio, half covered with an old sweater. Like she didn't want it to be seen, but couldn't quite bring herself to hide it. It was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. A sunset over some beach I didn't recognize. The colors were unreal. Like it had been painted from memory, not from a photo. You could almost feel the warmth coming off the damn thing. And in the corner, small, almost invisible, there was a signature. E. Masters. Now, here's the thing. That name meant something to me. It didn't click right away, but it kept scratching at the back of my skull until it finally hit. Ethan Masters. My best friend from college. We hadn't talked in years. He'd gone off traveling, chasing some artistic dream. I used to get these long emails from him, full of wild stories, India, Morocco, Iceland. Then one day, he just vanished. No more updates. And now here he was. Or at least his painting was. Sitting in my house. That's when the flicker turned into a fire. I asked Kate where she got it. Tried to sound curious, not accusatory. She paused. Just for a second. But it was long enough. Oh, she said. That? I bought it at the hotel gift shop. Thought it looked nice. Bullshit. No hotel gift shop sells a signed original by Ethan freaking Masters. That was the moment I knew something was really, really wrong. And I hadn't even scratched the surface yet. I didn't say anything right away. What was I supposed to do? Accuse her of something I couldn't prove? Start a fight over a painting? So I let it go. On the surface. But in my head? I was tearing the whole thing apart. I googled him that night, Ethan Masters. Took me a while to find anything, but eventually I landed on some tiny art blog from a year ago. It had a few photos of his work, and one blurry picture of him standing next to a canvas, smiling like some bohemian rock star. He looked older. Scruffier. Same smug grin though. Same messy hair like he just rolled out of bed and didn't give a damn. It hit me harder than I expected. Because I knew that guy. I knew how he talked. How he moved. How women looked at him. I'd seen it 100 times in college. Ethan didn't just walk into a room, he took it over. And Kate? She would have eaten that up. But I still didn't know how. When did they even reconnect? Had he looked her up? Did she reach out? Or was it all just some freak accident? Then, about a week later, the second domino fell. Kate left her laptop open. She rarely does that. I wasn't snooping, not at first. I just needed to check the calendar for something. But there it was. An email draft. Unsent. Titled, "That Night." I swear my heart stopped. I opened it. I had to. I wish I hadn't. It wasn't long. Just a few lines. But every word burned. I keep thinking about the room. About how quiet it was, even with the city outside. I didn't expect it to feel that easy. I don't know what happens now. That was it. No name. No signature. Just that. But I knew. I closed the laptop and just sat there, staring at nothing, feeling like I'd just walked into traffic. You know what the worst part was? I wasn't even angry. Not yet. I felt numb. Like my body hadn't caught up to my brain. My chest was tight, my hands were cold, and my thoughts were just static. White noise. And then this voice in my head whispered something I really didn't want to hear. What if it really was just one night? What if she didn't mean for it to happen? That's the kind of shit you tell yourself to survive. You start negotiating with the pain. I thought about confronting her. Right then and there. Just throwing the laptop at her and screaming, "What the hell is this?" But I didn't. I waited. Because deep down, I wasn't looking for the truth. Not yet. I was looking for proof. I needed something undeniable. Something that would shut down the little voice in my head still trying to defend her. So I started watching. Her phone habits. The way she acted when I mentioned old friends. Any weirdness in her schedule. I was quiet, careful, and probably 2 steps from losing my mind. Then came the gallery invite. She printed it off at home, left it on the counter like it was no big deal. A local art exhibit, just a few towns over. Nothing fancy. But the name at the bottom? Featuring works by Ethan Masters. There it was. The Smoking Gun. I stared at that flyer for maybe 5 minutes. Just standing there, holding it, like it might explode. She hadn't even mentioned it. Just left it sitting out, casual as hell. Like it wasn't a big deal. So I asked, as calmly as I could, "Hey, what's this?" She barely looked up. "Oh, just a gallery opening. Some local thing. I thought it might be fun." "Ethan Masters," I said, tapping the name. She gave me this weird little shrug. "Yeah. Remember him? You used to talk about him all the time." And I just stood there thinking, what the hell is going on right now? I tried to keep my voice even. "Didn't know he was back in the States." "Me neither," she said like it was nothing. "I guess he's been traveling. Still painting. Still painting. Still charming. Still wrecking lives like it's a damn hobby. Here's the kicker, she invited me to come. Could be cool," she said. "Wine, music, art. We haven't gone out in a while." And I swear I almost laughed. Like, what kind of twisted game is this? But I said yes. Because at that point, I needed to see this guy with my own eyes. The gallery was in this hipster part of town, converted warehouse, Edison bulbs, fake brick walls. You know the type. Everyone looked like they just stepped out of an Instagram ad. We walked in, and there they were, his paintings. Big, bold, impossible to ignore. And there he was. Ethan. Standing near a table with a cheap wine glass, smiling like he owned the world. A couple people were hovering around him, laughing too hard at his stories. Same posture, same easy charisma. He looked right at me. I watched his face for any flicker of guilt. Anything at all. Nothing. He smiled, came over, clapped me on the back like we were still in college. "No way! I heard you might show up." Like we were just old buddies catching up. Like he hadn't possibly slept with my wife. Kate was beaming. I swear to God she was glowing. They hugged. I can't explain what that did to me. Seeing their bodies pressed together like it was second nature. Like they'd done it before. Because they had. They both looked so comfortable. I wanted to punch him. I wanted to scream in her face. But I didn't do anything. I played along. I laughed at his stupid stories. I complimented his work. I acted like a damn fan. Because if I lost it right there, in that gallery, surrounded by strangers, I wouldn't get answers. I'd just be the crazy husband who made a scene. So I waited. Watched. Picked up every detail I could. And here's the moment that really sealed it. One of the paintings, top right corner of the room, was the beach. That beach. Same one from the painting I found at home. The one Kate said she got from a gift shop. Except this one had a title. Room 214. I looked at Kate. She wasn't looking at the painting. She was looking at him. And that's when it all snapped into place. Room 214 wasn't just some random number. It was where it happened. That drive home? Silent. Not the comfortable kind of quiet. Not the "we're tired" kind. No, this was the kind of silence that fills a room like smoke. Thick. Toxic. You can't breathe right, but you pretend you're fine. She stared out the window like the city lights were more interesting than her husband sitting 2 feet away. I just kept my hands on the wheel, gripping it like it could anchor me to whatever was left of my life. I wanted to ask. God, I wanted to scream. But I kept hearing that little voice again. If you don't have proof, you're just guessing. And if you guess wrong, she'll make you the villain. So I waited. We got home. She went straight to bed, didn't even say goodnight. Just, "I'm wiped," and disappeared under the covers like she was escaping. I stayed up. Didn't even sit down. Just paced the kitchen like a caged animal. My brain running laps, replaying every moment, every word, every glance she gave him. Room 214. It echoed in my head like a siren. Over and over. Loud. Ugly. I didn't sleep that night. Next morning, I tried acting normal. Made her coffee, asked about her meetings. She played along, cheerful, but I could feel the tension. She was dodging eye contact. That wasn't nothing. I waited until she left for work. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through her drawers. Yeah, I know. It's a violation. A line you're not supposed to cross. But when you feel like your whole life might be a lie, trust me, lines start to blur real fast. Most of it was normal. Office papers. Jewelry. A tangled mess of chargers. But in the back of her vanity drawer, under some old receipts, a folded hotel brochure. The same damn hotel where the corporate retreat had been. And on the back, scribbled in her handwriting, small, faint, like she wasn't sure she wanted to remember it, was a name. Ethan. No last name. Just that. I just stood there, holding it like it was radioactive. And here's the part one still don't understand. Even then, a part of me wanted to forgive her. I kept thinking, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was a one-time thing. Maybe it meant nothing. But deep down, I knew better. You don't write someone's name like that unless it meant something. That night, she kissed me. Initiated it. Pulled me close like she was trying to erase something. And I let her. Because I was weak. Because part of me still loved her, even if I hated her guts in that moment. But afterward, when she rolled over and went to sleep, I just lay there staring at the ceiling, wondering. How many lies can one person hide inside a single touch? I couldn't live like that anymore. Pretending. Smiling. Nodding through conversations while a part of me screamed into a pillow inside my head. I'd hit the edge, and the only way forward was through. So I made a plan. I wasn't proud of it. But screw it, she broke the rules first. The next day, I told her I had to work late. Big meeting. Probably wouldn't be home until after 10. She barely blinked. Okay, good luck. Good luck. She used to say. I'll miss you. She used to mean it. Now it was. Good luck. Like I was some coworker she barely remembered the name of. I didn't go to work. I parked a few blocks from the house. Waited. Phone off. Lights off. Just me and a sick feeling in my stomach that wouldn't go away. At 6:47 p.m., she left. Not dressed up, just casual. Effortless. Hair down. A look I used to think was just for me. She drove. I followed. She didn't go far. 10 minutes across town, to a small studio apartment in this artsy part of the city. You know the type: string lights on balconies, ironic bumper stickers in the parking lot, everything overpriced and pretending to be authentic. She parked. Got out. Walked up the stairs. Knocked. Door opened. And there he was. Ethan. Smiling like the devil. She stepped inside without hesitation. No looking back. No pause. Like she'd done it before. Like this was normal. I swear to God I couldn't move. My hands were locked on the steering wheel, but my whole body felt like ice. That was it. The final nail. You want to know what it feels like? It's not like in the movies. There's no dramatic music, no screaming at the sky. It's quiet. Cold. Like someone flipped a switch and drained all the heat out of your chest. I didn't go up there. I didn't make a scene. I just sat there. Watching. Waiting. After about 2 hours, she came out. Hair a little messy. That floaty walk again. That look. She got in her car and drove home. Like nothing happened. Like I didn't just watch her cheat on me in real time. I followed a few blocks behind. Heart pounding. Rage boiling. I didn't sleep that night either. I just kept thinking, now what? Do I confront her? Blow everything up? Kick her out? Or do I keep waiting? Collect more? Burn the whole damn thing to the ground piece by piece? And then I had a better idea. I was gonna make him talk. I waited 2 days. Not sure why, honestly. Maybe I needed to cool off. Maybe I was scared of what I'd do if I saw him too soon. But eventually I texted him. Hey man. Wanna grab a beer? Been too long. He replied in under 5 minutes. Hell yeah! Let's do it. Friday? Like nothing was wrong. Like we were just two old pals catching up. I picked a bar halfway between our places. Not too loud, not too crowded. I wanted to hear him. Wanted to see his face when the lies started. He showed up late, of course. Ethan always had that thing. Being late made him look like he had a life worth being late for. Same easy swagger. Same. I just threw this on. Outfit that probably took 20 minutes to perfect. Man, he said, giving me a hug like we were brothers. It's really good to see you. I smiled. Not because I meant it. Just because I wanted to see how good I'd gotten at faking it too. We ordered drinks. Talked surface level crap. College memories. Dumb stories. The kind of stuff that feels like chewing on cardboard when your head's somewhere else. Then I leaned in a little and said, So, you and Kate, small world, huh? He paused. Just for a beat. Then smiled. Yeah, that was wild. I didn't even know she was your wife at first. Total coincidence. I nodded. Crazy. I mean, what are the odds you'd end up in the same hotel? He took a sip of his beer. Right? Life's weird. And there it was. The lie. Smooth. Casual. Like it cost him nothing. You guys talk much after that? I asked. Another beat. Here and there, he said. Mostly art stuff. She's got a good eye. Art stuff. Jesus. She mentioned your place is nice, I said, watching him now. Said it had character. That's the word she used. This time, he hesitated. Blinked once. A flicker of something behind the eyes. Maybe guilt. Maybe panic. Hard to say. Oh, he said. She's been over? I didn't answer. I just stared. And slowly, the smile faded. He leaned back in his chair, looked around, and then lowered his voice. Okay. Look, man. I didn't know she was married. Not at first. Bullshit, I said. Quiet. Calm. Deadly. You were at our wedding, Ethan. He looked down at the table. No more words. I felt my fists clench under the table. My whole body was tight, like a pulled muscle seconds from tearing. You think I wouldn't find out? I asked. You thought what? You'd just borrow her for a weekend and walk away like nothing happened? I didn't plan it, he said. It just happened. Don't feed me that lazy garbage. I snapped. You chose it. Every time. You chose her. He looked up, eyes finally meeting mine. And then he said the one thing I wasn't ready for. I think she chose me too. That broke something in me. Not because he said it. Because part of me knew it was true. I didn't drive home right away. After Ethan dropped that line. I think she chose me too. I just sat in my car in the parking lot like someone had pulled the gravity out of the world. I wasn't even mad in that moment. Just hollow. Like every part of me that used to feel anything had been scraped clean. You ever reach a point where you don't even want the truth anymore? You just want out. But I went home. Of course I did. Because no matter how far you try to run from it, your life still lives there. Your keys still fit the lock. Kate was in the kitchen, eating yogurt like she didn't just set fire to our marriage. Hey, she said like it was any other night. I looked at her. Really looked. The face I knew better than my own. And I realized something. She wasn't going to confess. She wasn't going to break down crying or fall to her knees or offer some tearful apology. She was going to pretend. Like everything was fine. So I said it. I saw him. She froze. Spoon halfway to her mouth. Ethan. Silence. Then, slowly, she set the spoon down. Oh. That was all. Oh. Want to tell me how long it's been going on? I asked. She didn't answer right away. Just leaned back against the counter and crossed her arms. I didn't mean for it to happen, she said. Bingo. The cheater's national anthem. I laughed. It came out dry. Bitter. More like a cough. That's the best you've got. Her jaw tightened. It wasn't planned. I didn't look for it. But you found it. She closed her eyes. It was one night. That's all. You're lying. No, I'm not. I followed you, Kate. Her eyes snapped open. I saw you go into his place. I sat in the car and watched you come out 2 hours later, smiling like you just aced a final. She looked like she'd been punched. Not because she felt guilty, but because she got caught. So no, I said. Don't give me this one-night fairy tale. You made a choice. More than once. She sat down slowly. Didn't cry. Didn't beg. And honestly, that made it worse. Do you love him? I asked. I didn't even plan to ask that. It just came out. Like a reflex. Like I needed to know what kind of wound I was really dealing with. She looked away. Didn't answer. And that was the answer. You know what's wild? At that moment, I didn't hate her. I hated me. For not seeing it sooner. For trusting. For loving someone who was already halfway out the door. And now? Now I had to decide what to do with the ruins. The next morning was quiet. Too quiet. She didn't sleep in our bed. Took a blanket and crashed on the couch like a guest overstaying her welcome. I didn't stop her. She didn't say good morning. Didn't make coffee. Just moved around the kitchen like someone renting space in her own life. I sat at the table, watching her pretend to be normal. And I realized we weren't married anymore. We just hadn't filed the paperwork yet. Around noon, she finally spoke. So what happens now? Just like that. Like she was asking about lunch plans. I don't know, I said. Still figuring that out. She nodded. Didn't push. Maybe she already had her backup plan locked in. Maybe she was waiting for me to be the bad guy and say the words first. She didn't apologize again. She didn't even try. And I think that told me everything I needed to know. People fight for what they want. She didn't fight. That night I packed a bag. Just a few things. Jeans. T-shirts. Laptop. Toothbrush. She watched me from the hallway. You're leaving? No, I said, zipping it up. I'm stopping. There's a difference. She didn't follow me out. No dramatic final scene. No begging. No tears. Just the click of the front door behind me. I got in my car and drove. Nowhere specific. Just away. Ended up in some cheap motel off the highway, the kind with flickering signs and paper-thin walls. But the bed was clean, and for the first time in weeks, I could breathe. I lay there staring at the ceiling, wondering if this is what starting over feels like. Not hopeful. Not exciting. Just empty. You know what's messed up? I kept checking my phone. Like she might call. Like she might realize she'd screwed up and come running. But she didn't. And the truth is, I don't think I wanted her to. Not anymore. I wasn't mourning her. I was mourning us. The version of us that existed before room 214. Before the painting. Before the lies. That guy? The one who believed in her? He's gone now. And what's left? Well, I guess I'll find out. I stayed in that motel for 3 days. No plan. No big dramatic gesture. Just space. Sometimes that's all you need, somewhere to sit with the wreckage. I'd wake up, stare at the stained ceiling, scroll through job emails I didn't care about, and try to remember what my life used to feel like before all this. Spoiler, I couldn't. The weirdest part? There were moments, brief, maybe 10 seconds long, where I didn't feel anything at all. No sadness. No rage. No confusion. Just silence. And honestly, that scared me more than anything. Because it made me wonder if I'd been carrying dead weight for longer than I realized. I kept replaying everything in my head, trying to spot the moment we cracked. Was it the routine? The distance? The way we started talking at each other instead of with each other? Or was it her? Or me? I don't know. Still don't. All I know is she met a man, shared a room, and crossed a line you can't uncross. And then she kept crossing it. That's what I can't shake. Not the act. Not the night. But the choice. Again and again. You don't just fall into that. You climb in. Somewhere around day 4 I went home. I didn't call her. Just drove back, half hoping she'd be gone. That she'd made it easy and packed up her stuff. But no. She was there. Same couch. Same blanket. Same quiet. She stood when I walked in, like she wasn't sure what version of me she was about to meet. And honestly, neither was I. She opened her mouth to speak, but I raised a hand. Don't, I said. I'm not here for a speech. She nodded, bit her lip, looked at the floor. I'll go stay with my sister, she said. I didn't stop her. Didn't ask when she'd be back. Didn't ask where Ethan was in all this. She grabbed a duffel bag, a coat, and her keys. And before walking out, she turned and asked, "Do you hate me?" I didn't answer. Not because I didn't know. But because I honestly didn't think she deserved to hear the answer. It's been a few months now. The kind of time that feels both fast and endless. I've moved into a small apartment across town. Nothing fancy. White walls. Cheap carpet. A view of a parking lot and a gas station. But it's mine. There's peace in that, weirdly. In starting over with nothing but a mattress on the floor and a used coffee maker that leaks when it's angry. Some days I still catch myself glancing at my phone, expecting a message from her. Some part of my brain still thinks we're okay. Still thinks I'm driving home to the life I used to have. But that life's gone. And maybe that's not the worst thing. I don't miss her. I miss the idea of her. The version of her I thought was real. The one who held my hand at 3 a.m. and made fun of bad movies and talked about naming our future kids after trees. But that woman doesn't exist. She never did. I found out recently, through a friend of a friend, that Kate and Ethan ended up moving in together. Yeah. Apparently she packed up, moved into his creative space, and posted a few too honest quotes about second chances, and finally following your heart. They lasted about 3 months. 3 months before he dumped her. Just like that. Found someone younger. A girl who paints but mostly just takes selfies in front of what other people paint. Free spirit. Lots of bracelets. You know the type. Last I heard, he left with her for a trip to Indonesia. No goodbye. No closure. Just gone. And Kate? She's back in the city. Alone. I don't know where. I don't really care. I don't say that out of cruelty. Just honesty. You pour yourself into someone, and when it breaks, you think it's going to destroy you. But then you realize, you're still standing. Still breathing. Still you. Just quieter. Sharper. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. Anger burns hot, then burns out. Now it's just ashes. But in those ashes, there's something else growing. Something quieter. Clarity. I know who I am now. I'm the guy who stayed too long. Who gave the benefit of the doubt even when the doubt was screaming in my face. Who chose love over pride until it became survival. And maybe, just maybe, I'm the guy who finally walked away when it mattered most. So, no, this isn't a happy ending. But it's an honest one. And sometimes that's enough.